Welcome to this Insurance Journal podcast. I have on the phone today Reid French. Reid is the CEO of Applied Systems. Reid, thanks for taking some time with us today.
Hey, happy to do it, Mitch. Thanks very much for asking me.
I want to talk to you today about your Epic product. Applied's been around for many, many years providing, agency management systems to the industry. What's new about Epic?
That's a great question. So the reality of the independent agency space for agency management systems is that a lot of the platforms that are out there are quite aged. Doesn't mean they're not good. It just means that they're aged and maybe not taking full advantage of new technology. And so when Epic was developed over the last 5 years, it really was to take advantage of new platform, new architectures available in software.
So when you say that Epic was built on a new platform, a new architecture, to the layperson, what does that mean?
What it means really is that the platform was designed to prevent limits. So no limits, a platform that can scale with the needs of the agency without any boundaries. You don't have scalability issues no matter how many users you have. You have a database that can handle no matter how many policies, how many clients, how much information you need to hold.
Gotcha. Okay.
It can scale effectively. And so that's really what Epic brings to bear. And I think if you looked at some of the clients that have really adopted Epic over the last couple of years, many of them are some of the largest, most complex independent agencies in the world. And Epic was designed for their needs as well as for mid-sized and smaller agencies, and so we've been successful with it.
So because of the new platform that it's built on and this concept of scalability, it's just as powerful for a smaller agency as it is a larger one. Is that accurate?
It is. It is, and the reality is that when I said it, no limits, is it means if you're a smaller agency hoping to be a mid-sized one through growth, your agency management system can grow with you. If you're a mid-sized agency and you're growing rapidly through acquisition to become a large one, the system can grow with you. So that's one of the objectives. The other is that we really wanted to provide a differential and modern user experience, and so we really went about in the rewrite of Epic and the build from the ground up a workflow-driven application based on agency best practices. We know a lot about how agencies run because of our many, many years with TAM, which is the core application that Applied Systems delivers to the marketplace. And TAM remains the number one by user count system in the North American market, actually by a wide margin. And so we basically took all of those learnings and went and created a workflow-driven application based on agency best practices. And what that ultimately results in is minimizing the E&O and reporting risk, is that when you have a best practice around workflows and it's defined and everyone works in the same way, you have a much better process for protecting your agency against those risks. The other is that since you have one system, and many independent agencies, believe it or not, have multiple agency management systems that they run on based on different offices and locations and acquisitions.
Right.
The end result of that is you do not have one version of the truth. You have multiple versions of the truth. You have multiple clients. You have the same client in multiple systems, and it's very difficult to have a good understanding of your client base, your policy base, et cetera. And so Epic, because of the scalability, because of the improved user interface, because of the workflow-driven nature of the application, it allows people to standardize on one system. And so we have a lot of our Epic customers, that's exactly the journey that they went through with us, is that they started on many systems. They chose Epic as their go-forward platform, and they've been working with us to roll that out across all of their offices.
Has that been one of the driving forces behind the adoption of Epic?
I think that's one of them. I think if you were to sort of, if you were going to kind of pick why do people select Epic, what's the reason why this is the fastest growing agency management system we've ever offered to the marketplace or that's ever, in recent memory come onto the market, I'd say it's sort of four things. A couple of them we've talked about, but one is that the modern technology platform and architecture. The second is the user experience. It's a user experience that allows people to do their job faster and in a more effective way. And that's from all the way from producers to CSRs to the accounting personnel. They all enjoy the experience of working in Epic because it's designed as a modern application. Both of those things result in better business value for the owner, which is why they're willing to spend money on it. It enhances the revenue production at the agency. It reduces operating costs because people are able to spend less time on administration and more time on selling and servicing a client. And then the last one I will tell you is, there is such momentum to Epic. The people, often say, look, the first thing I did when I started looking at Epic, I did so because my peers are adopting it. Or there's an agency that I look up to in my marketplace that adopted it. And so the momentum of the application, and this is the case for, we all know in technology, is that once there's momentum behind an application, it really takes on a life of itself. We're very pleased with the market adoption. We now have well over 400 agencies that are actively using the application, and more than 16,000 users that have purchased it and are in production. And so we are very, very pleased with that traction in the marketplace, and it's going to have a very, very good life in the insurance agency market.
Tell us about, I understand you're about to release a new version, Epic 6. What does that hold for the user? Are there upgrades, changes? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's our next major release. It's in controlled release today, and later this month it will go general release. And basically, there's a couple of big buckets of functionality that are being added into it. One is that we're streamlining agent carrier communications, particularly for the commercial mid-market business. That will include some expanded real-time options and some new methods for agencies and carriers to exchange information and attachments. And so our users have been very helpful in helping us to design this new functionality, and we're excited about that. And then the other is some further, as you well know, agency management systems, they deal with the full life cycle of an independent agency, right, from selling to servicing and supporting and billing. And it is the ERP system for an independent agency. And so we're continuing to deliver new accounting efficiencies. And so, these are points that, may appear a little bit micro, but we're enabling agencies now to manage, producer broker commission payables. We're enabling revenue sharing among agencies. And we're also allowing folks to allocate expenses across multiple agencies to generate comparative financial reports for the different offices so that the business owner can compare the productivity of those different offices. So, it's another major step forward for Epic, and feel very good about this release. The feedback from our controlled release group has been fantastic. Controlled release is when you allow a subset of your customer base to take the release and ultimately give you feedback on it, and that's been very positive. And so we're very excited about it.
When do you anticipate rolling it out officially?
The very end of this month will be what we call the general release date, and that will be the date when all of our customers will have access to it.
What's your vision of the future at Applied Systems and your products, and where do you see all this headed in the insurance industry in general over the next few years?
Well, I think it's a great question. I think for me, part of the reason why I joined Applied was that I really saw huge opportunity for software and technology, particularly in the insurance industry. As we all know, there still is a lot of paper-based communication and transactions that exist in the insurance industry. And that is a great opportunity for software companies like ourselves to help provide efficiency by automating those transactions. And so I think, I am really, really excited about what the next 10 years is going to hold for Applied Systems, because I do think that the industry is ready, the carrier universe is ready, the independent agencies are ready, and the clients are ready to really take up the automation and the efficiency up a notch in terms of software. And so, just as an example of that, people are ready to embrace mobile, and our company has some exciting things coming relative to mobile devices with agency management systems.
Love that way of thinking. It had never occurred to me that a mobile application a portion of that would be focused on the customer themselves. I was sitting at the DMV last week trying to renew some license plates, and I forgot to bring a copy of insurance, proof of insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to stop what I was doing, call my agent on the phone, get him on the phone, have him fax to the DMV my proof of insurance. Well, if I had an app, I could just pull it up on the app and show the person right there. That's absolutely brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, well, it's something that I think more and more. I think that you'll see, us work through what we refer to as the insurance life cycle. And the insurance life cycle is there are multiple participants in this, and our industry has historically focused a lot on the insurance carrier independent agent life cycle, and that's an important one. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've been doing that for 25 years. We've built a great brand name around that. But we can't forget the life cycle between the agent and the insured.
Exactly.
Because there's a life cycle there, too.
Right.
And so we want to automate all of that so that it's easy and so that people can do what they need to do in a fast and effective way.
Well, Reid, I've had you on the phone for a long time, and I know you're busy, but thank you very much for the information. Keep us updated as to these new changes and how things are going. It sounds very exciting, and we appreciate all the efforts that Applied makes for the industry.